Hi everybody, today I want to share with you our costs for raising a newborn in the first month, so let's dive right in. Okay, so the reason I'm making this video is because when I googled how much does it cost to raise a child, I found these huge all-inclusive numbers and I thought it would be interesting to try to track the cost for myself. So I'm going to be trying to track expenses as best as I can and provide continuing updates on our costs for raising a child. This video is going to be split up into 4 different sections. The first section is going to be talking about consumables costs during the first month. So this is going to include things like diapers, wipes, and all that other good stuff. The second section is going to be pre-birth expenses, which includes all of the different things that we bought while we were expecting the baby that we thought we were going to need and use. The third section is going to be post-birth expenses. So things that we bought whenever we ran into some issue and thought that it would help us solve it. And then the last section, I'm going to be talking about the cost of the birth itself and then healthcare for the baby during the first month. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a like and share it with somebody else that you think would get value out of it. So let's get started with running costs for consumables, since that's probably the most interesting part. Total costs here were about $200 for the first month, and let's break that down. Basically, a newborn's 4 main activities are eating, sleeping, crying, and pooping. If you're lucky, more of the sleeping and less of the crying. So the big things that we use on the day-to-day, no surprise here, are diapers and wipes. In the first month, we spent $120 on diapers and about $23 on wipes. So for us, we use Huggies newborn swaddlers. The only reason is that's the diapers they used at the hospital, so that's basically what we learned on, and they seemed good to us. In the first month, we went through about 380 diapers and no less than 1,000 wipes. Unfortunately, our Costco doesn't carry newborn-sized diapers, and I think because of COVID, the grocery store isn't really stocking too many of the 96 packs, so we end up having to get these in 31 packs. Along with pooping and diapers come diaper rashes, so we use Dr. Bordeaux's butt paste, which we bought for $4.82, and we are still on the first tube. Another major activity that comes with a newborn is laundry. I mentioned before that babies need special laundry detergent, which we bought a 1.85 gallon container for $16.69 at Costco. We haven't really used that much laundry detergent. I think the key to reducing laundry is to just feed the baby with nothing but the diaper on. That way if they spit up, they're not spitting up on their clothes. So overall, we haven't used that much of this. I'd estimate the total cost for this at less than $3 for this month. In the future, it's going to be a little bit harder to estimate it. Just to save room, we've decided to use the baby laundry detergent for everything, so it's going to be kind of hard to estimate that in the future. Other than that, we had to buy breast milk storage bags for $13.88 for 100 bags, as my wife has started pumping. We're basically using 2 bags a day right now, so that's about $8 per month, and that's probably going to increase with pumping frequency. We really only started pumping near the end of the month, so I'm just putting this in basically for informational purposes because it is something that comes up in the first month. We had one event that we needed to feed the baby formula for a couple of days, so that ended up costing us $21.99 for 1 container of Similac. Unfortunately, you're supposed to toss these out 30 days after opening, so we're not going to get that much value out of that, and it just ends up being pretty expensive. The next type of expenses I'll talk about is pre-birth purchases. The total cost here was about $1,450, so really the brunt of the cost for the first month. I'll go into more detail about which items were the most useful in a future video, but I just want to kind of give a rundown of what we decided to purchase while we were expecting, and honestly, most of these items have been really useful. One good way to save on the cost of these purchases is to use the baby registries to get discounts. And another little tip is that a lot of these items have different prices based on their colors, and I probably saved $100 at least, if not more, just by choosing the cheapest color. And honestly, who cares what color the diaper pail is? It's literally meant for holding poopy diapers. I'll also link in the description to another video I made about how to get some free baby stuff. So to run through the list, let's start with the essentials. We got a stroller and car seat combo for $777.52. We ended up getting a pretty high-end stroller, but we got an older model, which ended up saving a lot of money. We got a Graco bassinet / play yard for $129.99. We use this as the baby's bed, but it's also going to be useful for travel later on, and we easily move it around the different rooms in our apartment, so we ended up going with the versatility for this one. It's a little bit hard to find sheets for this though, so we spent $49.98 for 4 sheets and $47.97 for 3 waterproof liners to put under those sheets. We also got a little bathtub that sits over the sink for $16.99. We got an easy to wipe baby changing station for $63.99, which is worth every penny. We got a bottle drying rack for $22.30, which is really nice for kind of having a separate place for the baby's dishes. We got a diaper pail for $47.59, which is really a must-have. And as I mentioned, we just got the cheapest color because there's a huge price difference there. For the baby's laundry, we got a cute puppy collapsible hamper for $6.79. For travel items, we got a diaper bag for $152.41. This was a giant splurge, but it's a cool bag and high quality and can also double for hiking later. But honestly, I just got this one for fun. You can spend a lot less, up to nothing on a diaper bag. We got a car mirror to see the baby from the driver's seat for $18.67. We also got a portable changing pad for $15.12. A breast milk bottle cooler for $12.75. In miscellaneous items, another big splurge item was the Hatch Rest nightlight and sound machine, which cost $59.99. So this thing is pricey, but it is high quality. It's easy to control with an app on your phone. And honestly, the white noise at this point is more for us than for the baby. In preparation for the baby, we also got a couple of books on babies and breastfeeding for $20.52 total. And we got 2 different baby carriers, a wrap for $26.96 and a sling for $39.99. These were honestly a total waste of money, and they came out of reading a baby book which kind of touts carrying the baby around all day. We might try it later on, but right now our daughter is so small and doesn't have a lot of neck strength, which makes these more hassle than they're worth. So our pre-birth baby haul was not huge. Obviously, we splurged on some items and we saved on others. Clearly, you can either go a lot higher or a lot lower on these. I'll actually link to a couple of posts by Mr. Money Mustache on how much he spent on their son when he was a baby. And if you want to challenge yourselves, have at it. Notably missing from our list are baby clothes. So we were originally planning to purchase used clothes on Facebook Marketplace once we discovered the sex of the baby. Unfortunately, coronavirus kind of nixed our Facebook Marketplace plans because it just didn't feel safe. But we did end up getting some hand-me-downs as a gift, as well as some clothes as gifts from our family, so we're making do with that for now. Clearly, the sky's the limit when it comes to spending on baby clothes. Now let's talk about post-birth purchases. Total costs for this were about $186, and most of this is associated with pumping breast milk. We ended up getting some hands-free pumping bras, as well as some nursing bras for a total of $55.99, as well as reusable nursing pads for $13.97, a manual breast pump for expressing milk for $12.99, a bottle warmer / sanitizer for $34.99, which this thing is really a godsend. It comes in really useful. We got a fancy silicone bottle for $12.99, which we don't really need since we got a bunch of free sample bottles in the registry gift boxes, but it is interesting to try this type of bottle. It may work better for some people. In terms of the breast pump itself, you get a free one from insurance, so I'm not including that in the costs here. Other than the breastfeeding stuff, we got a little baby rocker for $33.99, but its usefulness ends up paling in comparison with a fancy baby swing we got gifted. It is nice for mobility around the house though. We got a really handy diaper caddy for $20.99 for organizing clothes and blankets on the crib. And we got a head support for the car seat, which basically just ends up choking the baby, so we ended up returning that. The final type of expense I want to talk about is healthcare expenses. Now this section here is completely for informational purposes, which is why I put it last, because it's going to depend so much on the type of health insurance you have. So these are just our numbers, take them with a grain of salt. Total cost of this was about $468. Of those costs, the birth itself cost us only $250. Different medications that popped up, which I won't go into detail about, cost us another about $150. Then for the baby herself, we had a couple of baby well visits with the pediatrician, which cost $20 each for a total of $40. We bought vitamin D drops, which you need for breastfeeding babies, and stocking some medication just in case. Infant Tylenol cost $8.49, infant Motrin $12.49, and some Aquaphor $6.72. You can reduce the cost for some of these items by using an FSA or an HSA account if you have one. And if you're getting pregnant and you happen to have an open enrollment period coming up, I highly suggest you open one of these accounts and maximize your contributions to it, because there are going to be so many doctor's visits and other healthcare items that you can pay with pre-tax dollars using these types of accounts. That's it, guys. To recap, we ended up spending about $200 on consumables over the first month, about $186 on post-birth purchases for different types of issues that came up, about $467 on healthcare, including the birth itself, and about $1,450 on pre-birth purchases when we were expecting the baby, for a grand total of about $2,300. I hope you found this information interesting and useful, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Please leave a comment below telling me what type of items you think are necessary for a newborn that I didn't mention, and share this video with anyone else you think might find this information useful. Thank you all for watching. Click that handsome face to subscribe and watch some more videos. See y'all next time.